Remember when Joe Biden said this?
The world has changed because what Trump has done. And the American people, including independents and some Republicans, know how bad he is, know how much he's misrepresented, know how he's getting close to getting us in a war. I said, as the walls close in on this man, I'm worried he's going to get us to war in Iran. Unfortunately, I may have been right. The fact of the matter is there's a lot at stake in this election.
Boy, who is that articulate go-getter? Did you hear that? Good gravy, it's Joe Biden.
They gave him the good Adderall.
He's only 3 years younger in that video.
Like...
Boy, presidents do age in dog years, don't they?
Yeah.
That was him 3 years ago saying that Trump... Those were the sweet old days, by the way, Kurt, when Joe Biden could still talk. Wasn't that? That's amazing.
I thought I didn't give him enough credit. I thought he sounded like an idiot back then, but my God, it's...
So there he was warning everybody that Donald Trump's going to get us into a war with Iran,
right?
Completely rooting Joe Biden's plan to get us in a war with Iran.
Well, it's not the war with Iran I'm mad about. It's the wrong guy doing it.
Yeah, that's it. Right. It's
as long as a good man does it.
He's worried that Donald Trump is going to be the Carlos Mencia of his dreams. So guess what? So some Iranian-backed militias, this is what they're saying.
Yeah.
Flew a drone that hit a U.S. military base. Where's that U.S. military base? It's right here. First of all, here's the U.S. military base inside Syria. We have a U.S. military base inside someone else's country illegally. Every news organization reports this, and they forget to mention that we're actually the thugs that where they pretend that Putin is. We're the ones that's actually invaded Syria, took over a third of their country. Which third? The third that makes the wheat and the oil, coincidentally. And so we have two bases. Here's one right on Jordan, right on the border, and then there's another one, El Tamp U.S. base, inside someone else's country. We have two military bases inside Syria. That's completely illegal against international law. It makes us occupying terrorists, which is what we are. We're everything that we're saying that Putin is, we're doing, but nobody talks about it on the news. Well, we talk about it here on YouTube, and we'll probably get demonetized for it. But so this is, they had a drone that struck Tower 22. And so here it is. The U.S. troops killed in a drone attack in Jordan. Three U.S. troops. I like how they call them troops. When did they start doing that? So they don't have to say soldiers died? Troops. Troops doesn't sound so bad. Three U.S. soldiers were killed in a drone attack in Jordan. More than 30 are injured. And here's how CBS reported it. Now listen to how that starts. Listen to this.
Pentagon officials tell CBS News the explosive drone came in low and slow.
Low and slow. That's how you make ribs. Okay, here we go.
Several minutes after a U.S. drone was returning from a mission in Syria. The base's air defense...
Wait, okay, I think you might have missed that last part. Just as a U.S. drone was what?
Drone was returning from a mission in Syria.
There was a U.S. drone returning from a mission in Syria. We're doing war in another country called Syria. No one cares about that. Again, Putin is the thug. Putin's the bad guy. The CBS News reporter says that we had a drone that was returning from a mission. Was it there to bring books? What do you think that mission was? What do you think that mission in Syria was? Go ahead, Russ.
I've heard it was actually carrying copies of Genderqueer.
Yeah.
They don't have that available.
So the CBS News reporter totally missed that one. How did this drone get into our military base? Well,
several minutes after a U.S. drone was returning from a mission in Syria.
Oh, what the hell? I didn't know we declared war in Syria, but apparently we did because we've set up a military base in their own country, and now we fly drone missions. Okay.
Base's air defense system, which should have fired on the enemy drone, had been temporarily taken offline to allow the American drone to land safely. As a result, there was little to no warning for the troops still in their sleeping quarters, which are not built to withstand a blast.
President and I.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, back at the Pentagon after a month-long illness, promised all options are on the table.
We will take all necessary actions to defend the U.S. and our troops.
And including invading another country in the Middle East illegally, killing a bunch of people.
If you're already at war and you get attacked, I assume you were already trying to do that. Like, take every measure since you're in a war.
Yeah.
You just didn't tell us.
Vice Admiral Brad Cooper commands the Fifth Fleet here in Bahrain. We asked him tonight if the security posture has changed.
Yeah, we've had a very high.
So the Fifth Fleet is in Bahrain. Where's the first through 4 fleets? Where are they? Are they also in Bahrain? Where are they?
Is that the screen for the Houthis were
Maybe
shooting past?
Are they?
Remember we had them lined up and then they shot those tankers and tankers
Yes,
turned around.
I remember.
Who's this, Fred
of
Armisen?
force protection and security in place for a number of months. We constantly assess and then reassess what that posture looks like. I'm confident we are set right now to defend ourselves, but it's something that we look at literally every day.
Have you changed anything?
We change all the time.
American forces have been the target of 165 attacks since October 17th.
Well, and again, the news reporter never asks, what the hell are we having all these troops for over there in the first goddamn place? Never dawns on her like, oh, maybe we're the occupying military force of the world. Maybe we're the terrorists setting the Middle East on fire. Maybe that's why people are attacking us, because our soldiers are there. We have military bases in the Middle East. Why? I don't know. Oh, I guess I do know, because we're an imperialistic fucking nightmare of a country. That's why. America is the world's terrorists. And this is what these news reports always leave out. Why are our soldiers there? Why are the 160? Go ahead.
That Tower 22 or whatever it's called, I thought that overlooks like a Syrian refugee camp, like 15,000 people. They have more. Remember, they have tents and like.
Oh, really?
Real hot. Yeah, we did a story a while back about it, but I think that's what that's overlooking, is that refugee camp.
They hate us for our freedom.
They hate us for. They hate us for our freedom.
Fuck your 7-Eleven.
Look where they've been. Look where they've been attacking us: in Iraq, in Syria, in Jordan. What? Why are we there? What's going on?
Well, and there's so much going on that even, I don't know about you, even people like us who keep up with the news, I didn't know we have bases in Syria.
I did. I knew that we had.
Trump told us.
We built 2. We just did it last year. We built two bases, permanent bases in Syria. We built 3 in the Philippines. That's where your money's going, by the way. Again, they can't get money to New York City to help them deal with the immigrants that are flooding their city. They can't get money to the border so we can have an orderly immigration policy. They can't get money to San Francisco, Los Angeles, Chicago, Atlanta, till we could deal with the homelessness problem. They can't get money to build bridges or infrastructure or get clean water to Flint. But they could build 3 new military bases in the Philippines and 2 in Syria. Okay.
And the U.S. has launched 7 retaliatory strikes against Iranian-backed militias. But congressional Republicans call those pinpricks.
The deterrence and response has been weak, not strong.
So, again, we have 2 parties. They're both psychopathic killing maniacs who are in complete capture by the military-industrial complex. That guy is not doing the bidding of his constituency. He's doing the bidding of the richest people in the world, the military-industrial complex and Wall Street. That's what that guy is doing.
What are we deterring, by the way? People attacking you when you invade their country?
That's right.
Deterrence? And that policy, as far as I can tell, has not worked on any level ever.
It's again.
I can't think of a single area where it worked.
So, and remember that saying, those who forget history are bound to repeat it. We have to update it. There's people who remember history are repeating it right out in the open.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
And until we send a strong message to Iran that we're not going to tolerate this, they will continue to hit our troops in the region.
Well, Iran?
First of all, Iran didn't do this. In fact, Iran denies a role in the deadly drone attack on U.S. troops in Jordan, as Iran-backed group claims So we call it an Iran. So of course, Iran denies it, just like Saddam denied that he was backing Al-Qaeda.
That's right.
Oh,
And I read
what-
a great book by David Frum that explained the deep connections between Saddam Hussein and Al Qaeda and weapons of mass destruction.
remember that? Remember when they
The great
said,
David Frum.
yeah. And by the way, exactly how does Iran back these groups? Is it the same way Benjamin Netanyahu backs Hamas with suitcases full of cash? Couldn't you say that an Israel-backed terrorist group attacked Israel on October 7th? Because
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Likud party backed Hamas, attacked them.
Could you also say that an American-backed terrorist organization, Israel, is attacking Gaza? Because that's what we're backing them. It's our money. It's our weapons.
Or remember American-backed freedom fighter Osama bin Laden turned on us?
That's Osama bin Laden was an
They
American-backed
gave a
freedom
drone.
fighter.
That's how
Well,
they.
it's
yeah.
just amazing how propagandized people are. They don't even think, they don't even question the idea that we need to be in these places
No.
or have a right to be in these places.
That's whataboutism.
Who
That's
isn't
why.
going to invade the United States?
Yeah.
What if we pulled all these troops out tomorrow? What? They're going to get to Jordan is going to come
Our
invade
interests.
the U.S.?
They're going to invade our
And
interests.
so that was the platform. That was the
that's it.
platform that Trump ran on,
Yeah.
which is why the donor class and the deep state hated him from day one. Which is
Yeah.
why they did RussiaGate and they tried to delegitimize him and discredit him, and then they impeached him twice, and now they're trying to put him in jail in 4 different court cases. Why? Because he wants to end that, or he professes to want to end that, and that's enough for them.
Yeah, just a mere mention. I'm getting a little sick. You know, I know everybody doesn't want poor migrants rushing in, but I'm a little sick of rich immigrants coming here and making us pay for their grudges back in the old country.
That's right.
A lot of that going around America all the goddamn time.
So Joe Biden promises a response after 3 U.S. troops killed in Jordan. Does his response involve asking for pudding? Do you remember when he said this? Let's be clear, Donald Trump does not have the authority to take us into war with Iran without congressional approval. A president should never take this nation to war without the informed consent of the American people. Wow. So, like, I guess what we're going to have to settle is for misinformed consent.
Yeah.
That's what we've been using this whole time anyway. Ever since 9/11, it's been misinformed consent. Nobody's consented to the war in Libya. Nobody consented to the war in Iraq. Nobody consented to the war in Syria, building bases, military bases in someone else's country. Nobody consented to this attack.
Jimmy,
Nobody consented to our attacks on the Houthis. Nobody consented to our attack in Yemen or Somalia. Nobody's consented to any of this. They did this because the people allowed 9/11 to happen. And why did they do that? They did that so they could get the authorization for the use of military force called the AUMF. So that's why Joe Biden, Barack Obama, George Bush can go and do war anywhere they want at any time, because all they have to do is say we're fighting terrorists, and that's all they say. And and that's what they get to do: war in Syria, they get to do war in Iraq, they get to do war in Libya, they get to do war in Afghanistan for 20 years. Go ahead. You want
This
to say
is how
something?
pathetic it's gotten. America doesn't even manufacture consent anymore.
That's
We
right.
shipped out all the manufacturing, every last drop.
Like all our Middle East adventures, I'm going to guess this is going to end well.
Of course.
I'm going to guess. Here it is. Breaking. U.S. Air Force detected in Syria, Iraq border, British Air Force on the move. American fighter jets have been spotted flying low over the Iraq-Syria border region. British Air Force tankers from Cyprus are heading towards the Middle East. I bet it's to give the oil back that they stole. I bet that's what it is, right?
This is what Top Gun 2 was about, because they didn't say who the enemy was. People just assume it was Russia, but they don't say on purpose.
They don't say?
But this is our next Top Gun 2.
No, they're doing a third one too.
6 U.S. refueling aircrafts arrive in the Middle East. As Biden finalizes his plan for U.S. retaliatory strikes against Iran, 6 USAF KC-135 refueling tankers have started to arrive in the Middle East. Their arrival raises the prospect of the U.S. launching airstrikes in the next 24 hours. With mid-air refueling capabilities, a strike force can reach Tehran, although officials expect the strikes to target Iranian assets in Iraq and Syria. So we're going to be bombing Iraq and Syria again.
Well, not only that, Iran could just wipe out our stuff over there. They got those missiles. Those missiles are like real good. Those guided missiles that Iran makes now.
Yeah.
They just recently struck something. This is not good.
Well,
We can't win a war against Iran at the moment. First of all, we haven't won any of the wars.
We haven't won any of our
We
wars.
definitely can't win this one, just as everybody knows. We cannot win it.
Iran, from early on, they tried to get the other countries in the region basically to get together and form a united front to protect the Palestinians. And the rest of them, they're too bought out. They're too compromised by U.S. interests and aid.
They're
none
citizens.
of the rest of them would do it.
Right.
But it seems like we're very quickly getting there. And when we talk about Israel, there's a real question when you're running a country on a premise of apartheid, what innocence means. There's a question with us, because to the point that you raised before, I think people understand that Syria is not coming to invade the United States. They also know that cheap hamburgers and gas are dependent on having all of these bases around the world. So in the end, in a lot of respects, the Americans are complicit in these crimes, and they stay silent about them because they don't want to have to pay for a TV what a TV should actually cost.
You just don't look into it. Dottie Sandusky style. You just wash the dishes and don't mind the noises in the basement.
Is that why? So we had to buy a 75-inch television for our last live show, which those videos should be dropping tomorrow. If you're a premium member, you're going to get the whole show without waiting for the clips to drop. I didn't drop some of the clips from the first show we did. So if you're a premium member, you get the whole show. And that's the important thing here. By the way, we had to buy a 75-inch TV for that live show. You know what it costs? It costs like $600.
All right, so maybe you should shut up about these bases, Jimmy.
Maybe I should shut up about the bases because I'm
you
reaping
want
the
to pay
benefit.
$1,200?
I think that should cost like $3 or $4 grand. It costs $600. I couldn't believe it.
Okay, I've been watching this jerk off, Peter Zeihan, who's very respected in jerk off circles, talk about how we are energy self-sufficient. That's one of his big points. America produces its own enough oil. So I don't know what he means by that. I guess we're just selling it off, or we could have enough. But why do we need to do this if we're energy self-sufficient and we'll drill wherever the hell? Like, why do we have to maintain?
Well, we
this?
don't have to. We're doing it for the corporation's profits, I guess. That's what this is all about.
I'm saying we could still have a cheap TV, I bet, with our own petroleum products.
Not to that level. Not to that level. That's
crazy.
I don't know if you 75-inch TVs costed $600.
Isn't that victimizing Africa more than the Middle East for like the cobalt and all that, whatever they get in
Don't you
Congo?
remember what General Wesley Clark said on Democracy Now! That after 9/11, these guys already had a plan drawn up. They already had the Patriot Act drawn up before 9/11. They were just waiting to institute it, and they had a plan to invade 7 Muslim countries in 5 years. And this is it. The last one on the list is Iran.
BB's bucket list.
This is it. This is the bucket list,
He's like
right?
a Make-A-Wish kid.
They did them. They did Syria. They did Libya. They did Afghanistan, Libya, Somalia. I think the only 2 left are Lebanon and Iran. That's it.
Well, Jeffrey Epstein gave his life so that
And
we
this-
could fulfill
that's right.
Israel's wishes on this.
Hey, come see us do a live stand-up show. We're going to be in Omaha, Des Moines, Milwaukee, Lansing, Michigan, Bend, Oregon, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, Philadelphia, Avenel, New Jersey, Boston, Palm Springs, and more. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all those tickets. See you at a live show.